Hello everyone and welcome to the Week 1 Bowl Recap Show. We got elite defensive performances, some awards, and even a Heisman to talk about on today's episode. Before we dive on in, please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and give this video a like if you enjoy it, that way you don't miss any of our college football content here for the rest of the season. And if you stick around to the end of the video, we'll let you know how you can get involved in an upcoming episode. Let's dive right on in though and take a look at what's in the box. What's in the box? Our Week 1 Bowl Recap box features our locally sourced but nationally relevant headlines for all of our ONIT teams as we talk about the LA Bowl between the Washington Huskies and the Boise State Broncos. We'll also take a look at some of our best players over the course of this weekend, and we'll finish it off by looking ahead to the college football playoff that begins on Friday. Let's begin by recapping what was an incredible LA Bowl. The LA Bowl took place last night in SoFi Stadium down there in Los Angeles, and boy, this game got ugly in a hurry. Boise State jumped out to a 3-0 lead thanks to a long 52-yard field goal from Colton Boomer, and then bam, the Huskies jumped all over the Broncos. Denzel Boston and Damon Williams Jr. linking up for a 78-yard passing touchdown. There wasn't a player within 30 yards of Denzel Boston. An absolutely massive coverage bust by the Broncos. Let the Huskies get on the board with the first touchdown of the game, and then the Huskies just kept it rolling. Damon Williams Jr. ends up throwing 4 passing touchdowns in this game. Boston is the recipient of 1. Jonah Coleman gets in on the ground. All of the guys that we talked about in the preview video for Washington that could make Boise State's life miserable on defense, all of them scored touchdowns, and they did make it a very long night for the Broncos, who had absolutely no answers on the defensive side of the ball for this Washington team. And then on the defensive side for Washington, they made both Maddox Madsen and Max Cutforth very uncomfortable in this game. They picked them off 5 times. 5 times. Madsen threw 2 interceptions, Cutforth threw 3. It was not a good showing from Boise State in this game whatsoever, and just once again kind of reinforces that talent gap and the gap between the P4s and the group of 5 or the group of 6 or whatever you want to call it, as Washington steamrolled Boise State in this game. And Washington's a team, again, they had college football playoff aspirations. So if you had been following, how Washington's season has gone and seeing the fact that Coleman, Boston, and Williams were all healthy and some of the wins that they had managed to pull out when these guys were healthy against some top-tier competition, this result probably doesn't shock you all too much. But Washington next year, definitely going to be a team to watch out for in the Big Ten. Obviously, if everybody is retained, they keep the coaching staff in place. Damon Williams Jr. will be a serious Heisman candidate contender for the 2026 Heisman Trophy. So definitely a name to keep your eyes on if he does stay there in Seattle at the University of Washington. For Boise State, there's not much good to talk about, obviously. It was they scored their final touchdown. Matt Lauder got into the end zone. The only touchdown of the game came late in the fourth quarter when it was well out of hand. It was a 38-10 victory for the Huskies in this contest. But for Boise State, again, it just not much going on, unfortunately, for them. The 5 interceptions really doomed the offense. Couldn't get the running game going for most of the day either, and it was really just a tough day of sledding for the Broncos, who are now on their way out of the Mountain West. They're going to the Pac-12 to join up with a couple other Mountain West teams, and then Washington State and Oregon State on the football side. We'll see what that move does for Boise State, if it helps out in terms of the national relevancy in earning bids to the college football playoff. I am of the opinion that it's not a significant enough change whatsoever for the Broncos in terms of how it lands for national relevancy, but that's just my opinion. So we'll see how that new conference plays out in 2026, but that's where Boise State is headed as they try to regroup going into the offseason after this LA Bowl loss. This is making the grade. Talking about the players who had the best performances over the course of this weekend. We only had one game to talk about, but we do have an honorable mention because even though he didn't play, he is the 2025 Heisman Trophy winner. So Fernando Mendoza makes it on the list as an honorable mention after winning the Heisman Trophy. Can't put him on here since he didn't play in a game, but a big congratulations to Fernando, and he is an honorable mention as a Gem Mint 10 this week. Now, diving into the players who took part in the LA Bowl on Saturday, we begin with our near mint 8s, both of them on the defensive side of the ball, starting with Boise State. Marco Notriani had a great game for the Broncos. He ended up being the game's leading tackler with 9 tackles. In the first quarter alone, Notriani had 6 tackles, a sack, and 2 tackles for loss. He had an outstanding game for Boise State and was really the only bright spot on a Broncos defense that got 38 points hung up on them. So for his performance on the defensive side, Notriani earns himself a near mint 8. And staying on the defensive side, but flipping over to the Washington Huskies, you know we love NIL for all, got to talk defense. Let's talk about X-Ray Alexander. What a game from him. 7 tackles, a sack, 2 pass deflections, and an interception. He was all over the field for Washington. He got the game started with the Huskies' first interception that set them up with their first touchdown of the game as well, or their first points of the game as well, rather. Alexander played a great game, and for his performance, he earns himself a near mint 8. Moving on to our near mint 9s. This is, of course, Washington Huskies. They dominated this game 38-10, beginning with the wide receiver Denzel Boston. Great game, 6 catches, 126 yards, and a touchdown. The 78-yard score on a deep post over the middle of the field. He was the only player in the vicinity. I mean, Damon Williams Jr. could have threw this ball anywhere, and Boston would have caught it and walked in for a touchdown. That's how wide open he was. He is first-round NFL talent for sure, and it'll be fun to see how he stacks up in the draft with some other great on-it receivers like Carnell Tate at Ohio State and Jordan Tyson coming out of Arizona State. So Denzel Boston, great game from him. He gets himself a mint 9, and his quarterback, Damon Williams Jr., also earns a mint 9 grade. Ties the Washington school record for passing touchdowns in a bowl game with 4 touchdowns, 15 of 24, 215 yards, and 4 touchdowns through the air. Added 12 carries for 16 yards. Broncos did a nice job stymieing him on the ground, but he still found a way to get it done with the arm. Like I said earlier in this video, he is a clear Heisman candidate going into next season if he sticks around in Washington, which all reports seem to indicate that he will be for the time being. So, Damon Williams Jr. earning a mint 9 with a great performance for the Huskies. There can only be 110 though, so let us know down in the comments below who you think it should be. I mentioned our honorable mention, the Heisman winner, Fernando Mendoza. He gets an honorable mention of the 10 for this week. But our 10 this week is Leroy Bryant. 2 interceptions for Bryant, both in the second half, helped the Huskies put this game to bed. He had an amazing leaping interception in the end zone, and then he had another one just a few minutes later on the sideline for Washington. He finishes his day with 5 tackles, 4 of them being solo, and the 2 interceptions. It was an outstanding game from Bryant, and for that reason, he earns himself a Gem Mint 10 grade. Let us know if you agree with the grades down in the comments below. And next, we're taking a look at the college football playoff first round and our bowl games that are coming up. Here is a look ahead at what is coming down the pipeline over the next coming weeks. We're taking a look, of course, this weekend, though, some of the biggest games in the college football playoff feature our ONIT teams. You got a rematch between Alabama and Oklahoma happening in Norman. Can't wait to watch that game. That is a Friday night kickoff, so be ready for that game. 8 o'clock Eastern time, Friday night, Alabama, Oklahoma, part 2, the rematch. Oklahoma beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Alabama turned the ball over 3 times in that game. They nearly outgained Oklahoma by double the amount of yardage that Oklahoma gained in that game, but it was the turnovers and a missed field goal that really ruined the day for Alabama. If they clean that up, They should be a little bit healthier than they were in the SEC championship game, but if they clean up those mistakes, I think Alabama is going to roll in that ball game. And then you got Texas A&M hosting Miami. That should be a really fun matchup. Looking forward to that. That's the first game of the day on Saturday, so that's a noon Eastern time kickoff. It's 11 Central there in College Station, Texas. That's a game that is going to be really interesting because both of those teams, should they win, have an opportunity to wreak some havoc in the rest of the bracket. Could easily see either of these teams going all the way to the national championship between A&M or Miami. So how does A&M respond to their loss to Texas? How does Miami play after squeaking into the playoff and bouncing Notre Dame out? Will be an enjoyable game to watch, and then a ton of bowl games as well. You got USC taking on TCU. Still looking forward to that Michigan-Texas game. All those games are coming later, though, in towards the end of December. So those games are 2 weeks away, but the college football playoff is this weekend. Let us know down in the comments below what game you are going to be watching. Can't wait to get the 2025 college football playoff started, and can't wait to see you folks all on Thursday for the preview show, because that's all the time we have here today. Hope you enjoyed watching today's episode. Please do leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And if you're pulling any ONIT sheet, we'd love to share it with the community. Use our community submissions link that is down below, or you can find it in the description. You can upload your hits, whether it's a picture, a video, whatever it may be. We would love to share it with the rest of the ONIT family, and we'll put it in a video, talk about your great polls, and see who had maybe the poll of the week. So please do that if you are interested. Otherwise, we will catch you on Thursday for the college football first round playoff show. Can't wait. We'll see you all then. Hope you have a great rest of your day.